Hello and welcome to Rank Draft number 20 for Modern Horizons 3 here with Mike. We are continuing our climb, trying to finally get out of Platinum, get into Diamond, and make our way into the top 1,000 Mythic. Coming off the back of that, I think the Kudo draft was the last one. That one was a cool deck that unfortunately didn't quite get as many wins as we had hoped. But that's okay. Alright, here we have a bevy of good choices, to be perfectly honest. Amped Raptor, Ghostfire Slice, Wumpus, Aberration, and then other good cards as well. I'm partial to Amped Raptor. It fits into the energy strategies, it fits into the Rakdos strategy. As we saw a few drafts ago, we had triple Amped Raptor, and even though we almost only ever hit retrofitted Transmigrant off of it, we got 7 wins pretty easily with that deck, including beating multiple Wrath of the Skies. So, Amped Raptor, very good, just insanely powerful card. I think it had the second or third highest win rate among cards, just period, and the highest of the uncommons. So here we have Nethergoyf versus Galvanic Discharge. We'd much rather just stay on color, take another energy card. In a perfect world, I think we want to be Boros over Rakdos, but if we wind up in Rakdos, these cards are going to be at a premium anyway. Just cheap, efficient, low to the ground cards are what you want to be in either one of those two archetypes. Amped Raptor not lending itself as well to like the Gruul or Teamer Eldrazi deck, as you miss a lot and you don't have the energy stockpiles. Galvanic Discharge, though, can make its way in no problem. So we have a Razorgrass Ambush and a Pinnacle Monk here as kind of the two cards that I'm looking at. Both of them are going to be good just being modal dual-faced cards. I think in general, I like Razorgrass Ambush a little bit better, but due to the fact that we've gone red card, continuing to take the red cards and see what winds up open later on seems worthwhile to me. Yeah, you see me kind of flapping back and forth there. I love the familiar, but again, we're gonna kind of stay on red here. If we keep getting past red cards, we're gonna keep taking the red cards. Here we have another Razorgrass Ambush and a Unicorn, which is going to be significantly better than a Skoa or the Active Treason guy. So I think I'd rather take one of these white cards here. It's just a matter of whether I would like the Unicorn or the Modal Dual Faced card. The MDFC is probably better, but it's very close. Yeah. Thraben Charm versus a Molten Gatekeeper. There's another familiar coming around the pack, and that's also a pretty late glaring Fleshraker. But Fleshraker not really what we're looking to do given where we're at so far. We saw the Hex Gold Slith and got excited, and then looked down and saw the Conduit Goblin. And Conduit Goblin is the premier 2-drop in this archetype, I think. Inventor's Axe is fine. Another thing that gives us energy. That's 2 Arena of Glories in this pack, which is weird. I guess I didn't notice when I was making my first pick because the uncommon slots were so good. But we'll grab an Arena of Glory and not be upset about it. Like, giving any of our stuff haste is fine. Right now we only have 3 creatures, but again, this is, still early in the draft, and we'll fill everything out. The cards that we have surrounding the creatures are all very good. And I said 3, not really counting the Pinnacle Monk, but obviously in a pinch, the Pinnacle Monk is a creature, so. I tend to think of the modal dual-faced cards, the higher cost ones, the more expensive ones, more as lands that if you top deck them late are just very good spells. they're usually not on rate for what you would normally get for the mana. Pinnacle Monk is pretty okay. 1 mana extra for an Archaeomancer, but the fact that it can be a land is so good. Razorgrass Ambush is semi on rate, though for 2 mana, generally speaking, that effect you get either destroy a tapped creature or similar. But alright, so we have a Cranial Ram that's wheeling, but we're not really interested right now. And we took the Skittering Precursor. Right now, we don't really have anything that we're sacrificing, but it doesn't take much to get 1 or 2 landscapes and maybe one of the exploit active treason guys or anything similar. So, Frogmere Enforcer, probably not playing. Wheeling the Skoa, fine. We're amusingly, this isn't that far away from playing 3 Mog Fanatics in a trench coat, but we still don't really want to try to force our mana to have triple red pips. There's the Captor, so there's our potential exploit creature. Pack 2, what are we looking at? We have kind of the Angel, and we're looking at a Writhing Chrysalis. Writhing Chrysalis, obviously the best common in the set. We only have a couple white cards, but I would rather just stick to my guns, stay on the Boros energy plan. We've got a lot of cards that play towards the energy package. Here's another Amped Raptor. Passing a Galvanic Discharge is not my favorite thing in the world, but Amped Raptor, again, is just so good. Anytime I can have multiple Amped Raptors, I feel good about my chances. So, curve looking pretty okay. Lots of 2-drops. Glyph Elemental, Conduit Goblin, Area Auxiliary, all very good cards. Glyph Elemental's an uncommon. We saw how late the Conduit Goblin came to us last pack. There's a non-zero chance we wheel it, though I wouldn't really count on it. Glyph Elemental, just kind of very, very powerful card. You see me moving cards to the sideboard and kind of showing the Captor and Precursor playing well together. I think I want the Glyph Elemental, but it's very, very close with that Conduit Goblin. Here's a Scurry of Gremlins, which we're going to snap up. Scurry of Gremlins may be the best finisher the Boros deck has. Better than the Angel, I think. Better than most of the 5-drops. Scurry of Gremlins just ends the game more often than not when you cast it. Inspired Inventor, fine pickup. Nothing exciting, just some filler level cards, like cards that you're happy to have in your deck, but nothing exciting. We can have another Arena of Glory, I guess. What do we have? We have 1 Galvanic Discharge, a Razorgrass Ambush, a Thraben Charm. I could see a world where we would have wanted to take the Expel the Intruders, but it's alright. So here we could do Landscape or Molten Gatekeeper. I like the Molten Gatekeeper. We don't really need a bunch of landscapes. Sarpadian Simulacrum is fine. There's also the Combat Trick, Siege Smash, which again, we're a hair light on removal. Siege Smash can sort of act as removal, though so can the Simulacrum. Alright. Mandibular Kite, just excellent card in the Boros archetype. Creature early gets to give some of your later game threats flying so that you can get in the last points of damage. Very good card. I'm probably not going to play anything I take out of here. Expel the Unworthy is the closest to playable, I think. Conduit Goblin did in fact wheel, so very glad that we took the Glyph Elemental over it. Another Inventor's Axe. We might not play two. We might not play any. We'll see. Wrath of the Skies. Very, like, pretty clearly the pick in this pack. Another Writhing Chrysalis. We could have theoretically had two Writhing Chrysalises here. Again, though, we haven't really taken any fixing, so we wouldn't really be able to splash the Chrysalis, and I'm pretty happy with this Boros deck so far. Yeah, curve looks great. Just a million 2-drops, and then a handful of things over that. Okay. Second Scurry of Gremlins or second Galvanic Discharge. That's another pick that's incredibly close. I really like the ability to close out games with Scurry. Though I am kind of missing the discharge. There's another discharge, so never mind. We're good. We could take the Fanged Flames, but discharge just 1 mana, deal some amount of damage, and that number is usually pretty high in a deck like this. So we're moving over all of our removal to see kind of where we're at. Siege Smash we took just in case we didn't have enough removal, as I was mentioning earlier. Johnny Fills the Godsire is fine. Hexgold Slith is good. Yeah. Johnny Fells the Godsire is probably powerful enough that I want it over the Slith, but no, I guess not. That's fair. Party Thrasher, nice little card advantage engine. We'll grab that. So we have 2 Discharge, Expel, Thraben Charm, and Wrath of the Skies. Here's a Row in the Implicit Maze or a Suppression Ray. Suppression Ray potentially can just end the game, but Row in the Implicit Maze, when it's good, it's backbreakingly good. And even when it's not good, it still digs you deeper in your deck and makes a creature. 2 landscapes for our precursor. 3 landscapes for our precursor. Oh yeah, we'll gladly take a Legion something. Leadership? I don't know. Very late Fanged Flames. Pick 11 Fanged Flames. I think that was the pack we took the Galvanic Discharge out of. Yeah. Okay. This looks like more playables than we need, which is great. How many lands do we have? 2, 5. 5 lands, 3 modal dual-faced cards. Okay, so we need to cut what? What did that say? 34. Okay, well, Draftsmith knowing that we're Boros is always nice. Okay, Draftsmith says cut the Inventor's Axes, cut the Expel the Intruders, yeah, and cut the Skoa, and trim some plains. So it wants us to go down on lands, which I agree with. We're a very low to the ground, aggressive deck with 3 modal dual-faced cards to make up for the trimmed lands. So I'm pretty on board with that idea. 6, 10, 12, 15 plus 3. So this puts us at 18 mana sources for our deck with 2 4s, 2 5s, and it wants us to cut the 6-drop. So yeah, we're again kind of pulling all the removal over. See where we're at. I think with that very late Fanged Flames that we can in fact cut this Expel. The Fanged Flames I think is a better card and makes up for losing the Expel while still being pretty good. There's also the Razorgrass Ambush over there hanging out. So I generally like having like a one of Skoa in decks like this. So I'm a little reticent to cut it, but I don't see anything else immediately obvious that I want to cut to keep it. So there is that. 15 creatures. Yeah. Well, 15 creatures plus 2 scurries. And scurry kind of acting as creatures. So 17-ish creatures. 18 because Mandibular Kite. All right. So getting the cuts here is going to be just a little bit difficult, I think. I agree that we can cut the Expel. I did cut the Skoa. The Inventor's Axes are fine. I do like being able to get the extra damage in and the little bump in energy so that you can curve like Amped Raptor. You can Amped Raptor into bigger stuff because of it. Yeah, I guess it's just whether or not I agree that we want to cut the Expel or not. I think I do. Yeah. Yeah, I think Draftsmith just has it right on this one. Like, I don't, there's nothing else looking at that list that I want to cut. I think Draftsmith correctly identified the weakest cards in this case. So, good job, Draftsmith. All right, easy keep here. We have both of our colors because of the landscape. We do have to use our landscape before getting the Glyph Elemental down, but that's okay. We can Charge Bug and then bestow onto the Charge Bug and start getting counters. Then we have an evasive threat that continues to grow and also helps make other creatures evasive. So that's what I'm thinking right now. Goblin, probably even better. Yeah, we'll get the Goblin down. The Goblin will likely get murdered. Oh, it didn't. Okay. So, bestow here. Play a land. Opponent. Opponent could have Thraben Charm to target the Glyph Elemental. Okay. Sure. Same principle. Okay. They have killed my elemental. We are attacking for 2. We have Galvanic Discharge up. So we can still deal with our opponent's 3-drop, theoretically. Oh, sure. We can deal with their Glyph Elemental in response to their trigger. So, tit for tat here. They kill mine, I kill theirs. Easy peasy. And now we can get down our... Land is nice. We can get down our Charge Bug and get in for up to 5 damage here. I think 4 is fine. Yeah, I don't think we need to pay an energy here to get 1 extra damage at the moment. We'd rather save the energy for when the menace is useful. And now we have Thraben Charm up, so we can take down most of the 4-drops in the format. If this is an Oozewag, for example, we just get to shoot it down with the Thraben Charm and continue our attacks. Okay. Sure. Drawing a land almost makes me wish we had Charmed on our opponent's turn. The problem is if we charm, they respond by adapting and still get their body out of it. The downside here is that now we don't get to charm, but we do have the angel, so. Alright, angel gets haste. Take action. Would I like to do anything? Okay. I think it's a choice there. Like, it's certainly possible that giving our other creatures +1/+1 is better. If we do that, then the Conduit Goblin would be a trade with the Brood Scale. But the Charge Bug would have been safe because it would have been a 2/4. I don't. I'm not sure what that was supposed to do. I think they thought they were going to deal 4 damage, but forgot that they had to sacrifice the thing. Maybe I'm not sure. Anyway, here's an Oozewag which dies to our Thraben Charm. Looks like they have a horrific assault. Yeah, okay. So never mind. It does not die to our Thraben Charm. Now it dies to our Thraben Charm again. So we can attack for 1 here. And opponent is top decking. We can play to them spending their mana to adapt. And then Thraben Charm. Yeah. This does run into them having drawn like another combat trick. If they did, they just have a big thing. But, you know, if they drew something that they had to like decide between adapting and casting, then we get the time walk. So I don't know. It's pretty close. I think it's worth it to pass and try to catch their mana, but okay. Do I want to discard Pinnacle Monk? I do not. I have 5 mana and I can regrow a Discharge or Thraben Charm. We are using the energy there to get an extra point of damage. I love grabbing Discharge here. It between using the energy for Charge Bug. Yeah, okay. Alright, so 3 creatures versus none. We're both top decking, but they know I have a Discharge in hand. And they don't want to play anymore. I understand. Alright, game 2. We are fighting a very happy vampire. Alright, so with this hand, I think we want to go Charge Bug on 2 out of the options. It gives us the most energy that we can use for Amped Raptor. If we don't draw a land, I think we for sure just want to Amped Raptor. If we do draw the land, yeah, the question is whether we want to save the Amped Raptor, and I think we do. So in for 2, Charge Bug is pumped up. This is the same line that I was trying to do last game, but my Glyph Elemental got killed off real quick. So we can also slow roll our hand a little bit because we have this Wrath of the Skies. We can kind of see if our opponent wants to like dump out their hand very quickly. And we aren't that bad at defending ourselves. There's the double Arena of Glory, which is very funny, but okay. We just want to use all our mana here. Yeah, I like making extra energy. It makes our Wrath of the Skies that much easier to cast. We missed a point of damage because we didn't play the arena before we went to combat. That's a mistake. But so if our opponent ends the game on 1 life, we knew that we missed it up. All right. So I wonder if opponent is okay. Well, path might answer our questions. I wonder if opponent is green blue explicitly or if they are splashing for anything. Propagator drone, evolve the tokens. All right. So honestly, I think we could take a big hit if we're not careful. I don't love playing Amped Raptor here. Like, we have the Wrath of the Skies that we know we want to set up. Oh, never mind. I love playing the Amped Raptor here. Man, that's so good. Wow. Okay, I was gonna say that we potentially wanted to set up the Wrath of the Skies to let our opponent kind of cast everything they want next turn, and then Wrath of the Skies away everything. And so committing the extra Amped Raptor to the board felt awkward if our goal was to Wrath of the Skies. But hitting Ral and the Implicit Maze off of the Amped Raptor to Plague Wind our opponent while putting a 2/1 with First Strike into play is A plus. That is awesome. So we'll take that. We'll take that for sure. Bouncing the charge bug, but they still have to deal with the 5/5 elemental. Uh, Discarding Wrath of the Skies there is funny and a little disrespectful, but I'll take it. Amped Raptor, 2 energy. We didn't cast it from our hand? Question mark. Does it require us to cast from our hand? Yeah. Okay. Opponent sees the writing on the wall. Much scurry, many power, will attack. I know you can't like. I guess it has to be. Yeah, it has to be cast from your hand because otherwise, Amped Raptor into Amped Raptor would be the same thing. So yeah, casting it from exile, we didn't get the trigger, but we do get the 2 energy. Which, when we're talking about a big turn with Scurry of Gremlins, the 2 energy is certainly fine. All right, we're on the draw. We don't have a white source. We can play 3 of the 5 non-land cards in our hand. Very close. If we had drawn a plains there, then we play the plains and play the Mandibular Kite. But yeah, as it is, we just get to use our 1 mana to kill our opponent's 2 mana spell, and then untap, play our 2 mana spell, and be pretty happy about it. No reason to exert here for 1 damage. We'd rather just get our charge bug down. Up to 4 energy already means Amped Raptor off the top can hit everything in the deck. So we're feeling pretty good about this. Sure. There's that Amped Raptor off the top. So what do we got? We have a Party Thrasher. Sure. Easy attack with our Menace creature. And we'll see what's up. 3, 4, 5. I'm not sure. Did our opponent mulligan? It seems like they're very light on resources. Savine's Reclamation, get back the Slith. Okay. Party Thrasher will discard. I think actually, yeah, okay. Molten Gatekeeper as a discard is sweet, just because we can get it back later. This Scurry of Gremlins being found off of the Party Thrasher for turn. Good find on the turn that we drew the white source. So okay, attack with everything, and then depending on how our opponent blocks, we can pump again with the Scurry. How close to lethal is this? Alright, we will pump with the Scurry, kill the thing. Get in for 1,000,000 damage, yeah, okay. I guess they didn't realize that we could pump again? Not sure. We'll take that, though. That was a nice little curve out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are vibing. Also, we did it! We're finally out of platinum. Platinum hell is over. Now we're into diamond. So let's see how quickly we can get through diamond. All right, we do have the red source because of the Legion leadership. So there we go. We have 2 of our modal dual-faced lands in hand. That's fine. We'll hang on to it if we can. We have Goblin into double Ampteraptor here. So we could Charge Bug if we really wanted to. For what it's... Yeah, okay. So, Charge Bug, we can use some of this energy, or we can just stockpile it. Do you want to trade your mana guy for my Conduit Goblin? Opponent says no. And, yeah, predictably, because they have Writhing Chrysalis rolled up, and they needed to make sure they had 4 mana. So... Alright, we have the extra land. So... Ampter, what do you got for me? Hexgold Slith, sure. So, immediately get back my energy, which is nice. I would like to give the Ampter. Sure. Yeah. No good attacks through a Chrysalis. Not this turn, at least. We're going to try to set up a very wide board with a lot of energy and Scurry of Gremlins. Springheart and Tuku on a Writhing Chrysalis. Well, the good news is they don't get more tokens. The bad news is they do get a lot of Chrysalises that get to get counters from the tokens they do have. Alright, so let's Ampter first. Okay, let's land first. I think Ampter first is... I was going to say, depending on what we were trying to do, if we Ampter first, then we can hit Glyph Elemental and still have a land drop to make. If we do it this way, by playing Gatekeeper, then Ampter, we now get extra points of damage from the Gatekeeper here, which is certainly not bad, especially... Yeah, we have 8 energy stockpiled. We're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more energy from our Scurry next turn. And then we can just start attacking with everything. Mini Chrysalis. I think the Scurry can overpower them if all they have is 2 spawn tokens. We'll see. So here we go. Scurry of Gremlins. 2 damage. 17 energy. So activate once. Haste and +1 for everything. Conduit Goblins trigger, target some stuff. Don't actually use the energy. Everything already has haste. We don't need to do this. And the +1. Okay. Attack with everything. More potential energy expenditure. Do I want to give something menace? I don't. We definitely don't care about giving Hexgold Slith first strike. We could do menace though. This is fine. They're removing one blocker to make a different blocker. Yeah, we have 1 extra energy sitting around, so giving the first striking Amped Raptor Menace, I'm pretty sure we can. Yeah, we can eat 2 Chrysalises potentially. Yep. 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 Okay. So they're going to most likely pop both of those spawn tokens. Get a bunch of counters. Get a bunch more counters. How's everything looking? I need 2 more. Yeah, so we're going to use all of our energy here. And we're going to clear the board of all of these Chrysalises. They're all going to be dead. We are going to be left over with both of our Amped Raptors still alive, our Charge Bug still alive, our Gatekeeper, and our 2 Gremlin tokens, and have gotten in for a nice little chunk of damage here. Or my opponent wasn't paying enough attention and just died, which I will also accept. Did they have better blocks? They might not have had better blocks, to be honest. I didn't actually do the math. I just know I had 4 activations, and that's +4 +0 to everything I had in play, which was 9 creatures. So that's a ton of damage coming through, and not even a pile of Writhing Chrysalises apparently was enough to stop it. So we beat Springheart and Tuku onto a Writhing Chrysalis, and that feels pretty good. The Gatekeeper did, I think, 4 incidental points of damage. So good job, Gatekeeper. Turn 2 Charge Bug, just chilling. Alright, Plains from our opponent. Kite on turn 2. Okay, so a tapped land, presumably? Nope. Another Plains. Okay. Just gonna trade the 1 damage back and forth, it looks like. Can't block the Kite, so. Pearl Ear. Alright, we would very much like to Fanged Flames that Pearl Ear and get in for some damages. So we need a white source, and we can Angel. Similarly, white source, so we have the ability to Wrath of the Skies, not that we want to at the moment. And any land lets us Row, but at the moment we do not have a castable card in our hand. So, all right, so there's a land. So we can Angel plus Haste here. Or we can route in the Implicit Maze and just sweep everything up. All right, Angel plus haste. No, we did not haste the Angel because we did not explicitly tap that thing and exert it, which I don't love. But all right. So what is opponent's plan here? Ghost Fire Slice on the Angel, sure. In with flyers, sure. And yeah, Morbid happened, so. All right. I think, yeah, now is time to Ral on the Implicit Maze and sweep everything up. Get in for another couple points of damage. Stop this populating nonsense from the Must of the Departed. And we're sitting on Pinnacle Monk that can rebuy a Fanged Flames or Wrath of the Skies that can clean up kind of everything. That's it. That's bold. I don't. Yeah, that can't be right. Glyph Elemental, not looking great with no land drops. Pinnacle Monk has a good target in the graveyard. We could discard the Wrath and then immediately pick it back up with the Pinnacle Monk. But I think the Glyph Elemental just isn't really doing anything. Okay. So this puts them to 1. Is that what I'm trying to do? 4. Because this thing doubles the power, right? Yeah. So we're putting our opponent to 1. And they're showing us 6 damage in play. We're dead to land plus Skoa. We're dead to Ghostfire Slice. We're dead to that. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. What would I have done when I was thinking about it? I said discard the Glyph Elemental. See what we draw. We would have found land plus the Legion thing. I don't think I needed to be that aggressive. I think we just play the land and then play the Pinnacle Monk and rebuy the Fanged Flames. I think opponent would have forced us to block by playing the Strength. We would have gotten in for 3. So they were at 10. We would have put them to 7. We get in for 3. And then, yeah, if our opponent doesn't have another play, they're dead to just giving the Gatekeeper Menace that turn, and then Legion's Leadership targeting the Gatekeeper for 6, plus the Charge Bug for 1 is 7. Yeah, discarding Glyph Elemental, Gatekeeper, or I'm sorry, Pinnacle Monk, get back Fanged Flames, and then our opponent needs to do something else other than just have the Strength. And if they hold back to block, they know that we have the Fanged Flames. So, yeah, I think that was just a bad decision. I don't see a reason to discard the Wrath of the Skies, even though neither scenario uses the Wrath of the Skies. I think just having it as an insurance policy made the most sense, so that's on me. All right, this game is going pretty poorly. Only one creature in the first 3 turns of the game, and it got killed by a Thraben Charm. None of my opponent's creatures die to this Ral in the Implicit Maze. We have no good attacks the turn we're playing a Scurry of Gremlins. So, yeah. Witch Enchanter kills the Scurry. Ugh. Yeah, so we're activating here because it forces our opponent to burn the energy if they want to attack with the Slith. We're basically trading 4 energy for 2 energy. And then if they pay the 2 energy, we chump block with one of the gremlins. If they don't pay the energy, we trade off our gremlins for the Slith, is the thinking there. So. Okay. Wrath of the Skies makes us feel bad that we paid all our energy there. So yeah, we Angel here. We get 3 energy. And then next turn, we Wrath of the Skies theoretically for 4. Like, we want to spend 4 energy. Okay, that's fine. That commits into the Wrath of the Skies. This is pretty okay for us. Discharge is bad for us. So we're going to take a hit here. They attack. We block the 5/4. Take 5 down to 7. All right, Plains. Wrath of the Skies. No follow-up, so we might as well tap all our mana. We can leave 1 red. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 energy left over. And Galvanic Discharge up. So. Land for turn. Not exciting. So we're playing the Ral here, not because we're excited to do it, but because it, like, we lose the sweeper part, but we get to discard this Plains and turn it into something, into 2 cards, basically, which is what we're hoping to do. Our opponent does not have enough energy to cast their Ral in the Implicit Maze, so that's good for us. So yeah, we discard this Plains. We get 2 new cards, so we get land drops for this turn and next turn, that's fine. Gatekeeper, we still have Discharge up. The Gatekeeper checks the Ampter for a minute. And right now our hand is 2 spells, so when we get the weird off of the Ral in the Implicit Maze, we can theoretically start growing it right away. We are at 7 and do need to be careful of whatever our opponent has going on. Rosecott Knight. Interesting in the Burrows deck. I generally don't like this card very much. I don't really play it very much, but okay. Razorgrass Ambush, not a bad one. Not the best, not the worst. Gives us the ability to defend ourselves pretty well. So if they... I guess it depends where they cast this strength. It's probably onto the Ampter. Okay. So one thing that I could do here, yeah. that's a problem. Um, Yikes. Okay, so 5, 6. The strength is going to give +3/+3. So even if I paid 5 energy here, I think I'm just dead, right? Alright, so I don't know if opponent would have. I assume they were going to cast the Wing It before. Yeah, this doesn't do anything. The ambush doesn't get it done because +3/+3. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 toughness. All right, so I assume my opponent would have cast Wing It before they attack or before blockers there. But one thing that I could have tried to do potentially was cast the Legion's whatever targeting the weird after blocks, and then discharge the Raptor and cast the Legion's whatever, and that makes me have 8 power first strike, which getting rid of the Ampter would have been enough to clear the Knight, even with the Wing It +2/+2 and the strength. But that all assumes that my opponent let me go to blocks, which if they had the Wing It, I don't see why they would. Like you just do it, get it done, and get lethal through. So I think my opponent would have had to let me try to block in order for me to win the game or to clear their board, but seems unlikely that they would have done that. So despite the fact that me trying to respond to the strength was probably incorrect because my interaction points involved the Legion's leadership, I think I would have gotten bricked no matter what there. So, oh well. Good beats, as it were. Alright. Much energy, much haste. Yippee. Yeah, target the new one. Target the old one. Don't do that one. Do that one. Attack. Alright, so we have land 4, turn 3. We've already got a bunch of damage in. Okay, so math. We would get 2 activations. So 5 creatures, 2 activations total. Okay, so 3, 6, 9. Goodbye, Conduit Goblin. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Block one of them. All right. Well, there we go. I was trying to backtrack and do the math from last turn and see if just playing the Scurry would have been lethal instead of Fanged Flames on the Obstinate Gargoyle. And it's close, but I'm not sure. We got in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Opponent was around 13-ish. So if they were at 13, they could have blocked 4 damage. They would have taken 3, 6, 9. They would have taken exactly 13. So yeah, I think Scurry was just lethal on turn 4. And we didn't need to Fanged Flames and give our opponent a turn, which could have turned into a Toxic Deluge or a Wrath of the Skies. Fortunately, that isn't what happened, so we got the win when we played the Scurry, but I think we had lethal the turn prior, so just trying to see if there was an obvious mistake there. Expanding Ooze, forever a problem for a deck like this. So, yeah. We need the third mana source. We need the red source, so... What are we trying to figure out? We might be trying to figure out what we can hit with the Amp Raptor. I think we just want to do this, the Inspired Inventor. This deck almost explicitly just wants the extra energy. No attacks because giving first strike and attacking into a 3/3 doesn't accomplish anything. They adapt here. Yup. So just attack for 5. Oh, attack with both. Interesting. I will pretty gladly trade the Inventor for the Vampire. Yeah. Like if they're going to use a Wither and Bloom or something, yeah, that's fine. Okay. All right. So let's Ampter. If we hit a creature, we can Thraben Charm down the Ooze. That is a creature. So let's play our land and Thraben Charm now while they're tapped out. Get this thing out of here. Attack for 2, no reason to use energy, grow our Slith. And there we go. So now we have a first striker on defense against the Lifelinker, plus the Party Thrasher. So they can, I guess, Wither and Bloom here if they want to. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Discard the Gatekeeper here. Sure. Unlike Growl in the Implicit Maze, I only get one of these. So the first bit of damage breaks the shield. And then we still have to kill it after that. So what do we have to do here? We need to... Okay. See, that was a mistake. We didn't need to spend 5 energy. We were breaking the shield there, so we just needed to spend 1 energy, I think. Oh, never mind. I'm stupid. It's an Umbra, not a shield counter. Ignore everything I just said for the last, like, 3 minutes. That was... The visual looked like a shield counter. And I was thinking that it granted a shield counter, but no, it's an Umbra armor. So when the creature would die, just get rid of the enchantment instead. So yeah, discharge for 5, clears the Umbra, and now we're back to this 3-2. So what? Glasswing Grace would be like worst case scenario here. Boop. Cursed Wombat. Another expanding ooze. Okay. Neither of those is particularly good for me. Discard this land. Okay. Now we discard the Gatekeeper. Fair enough. Alright, well, Ambush isn't doing me any good, so. I think the Ambush would have been better than this landscape, though. Because then we could have potentially gone to combat. I guess we're at 6. We can't really afford to go to combat because we just die on the backswing. So, opponent can adapt the ooze. Wither and Bloom on the Cursed Wombat. Attack with everything. Ooze trigger, target the vampire. Yeah, it feels like I'm stuck using the Scurry of Gremlins on defense, huh? We can attack. Gives me 3 blockers. The vampire's going to have Menace, though. Theoretically be 5 power. So, let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like, our opponent just no blocks if this is our attack. Huh. Okay. Opponent just takes 11 here, is my guess. Or not 11. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 would be 11 if I activated the Scurry, but we're not activating the Scurry because we kind of want to save it. Alright, so if opponent makes the play I think they're going to make, then they... well, now they can just adapt and still have the Wither and Bloom in the graveyard. They adapt the Wombat, they adapt the Ooze, they attack with everything, and they Ooze target the Vampire. So that's a 5/5, 4/5, and 5/4 all attacking. Okay. I don't like my odds from here. Alright, well, we have to block the Vampire, and it has Menace. And then whatever we block with the Party Thrasher, they adapt that one to kill the Party Thrasher. So Gremlin, Gremlin on Vampire, Party Thrasher on something. Yeah. And then they just pay the mana to adapt, kill the Party Thrasher. This seems bad. Yep. So, Wrath of the Skies saved me, I guess. That's where we're at. Wrath of the Skies off the top. It's not a Wrath of the Skies. Does it do anything? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Nope, 11 is not 18. Yeah. So if I had to guess, they're going to adapt the ooze and target the vampire with the trigger on attack. And we can galvanic discharge the vampire, trade with the ooze, chump the wombat. Which isn't the worst thing I've ever seen. Yep. Yeah. So we have one more turn to try to draw Wrath of the Skies or a way to clear the wombat, I guess. No. All right. Okay, so we wasted an energy there. We shouldn't have let the adapt resolve if our plan was to discharge the ooze. Now anything... Oh, sure. That was going to kill me either way, right? So... If we had let them go to combat, though, there's a chance we don't die there. Oh, well. All right. So that game was a little rough. Nothing we drew was in a good sequence for us that game, but it is what it is. The deck was sweet. Multiple Amped Raptors, lots of energy, 2 Scurry of Gremlins showing how powerful they are. We love to see all of that. And yeah, so a 5-3, solid winning record. We'll take those. Free drafts are free drafts, and we finally hit Diamond. So here we go. We are closing in on the last handful of drafts for this season. I promise Diamond is not nearly the slog that Platinum was. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. Hope you've been enjoying the ride, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.